Brad. Just wanted to take a few minutes to say happy Monday to you and just jump online. And the reason I wanted to jump on because I had a great question come up this weekend, talking with a couple of people here just locally. And they asked, Brad, I want to make this consistent. That's my main goal. How do I make this consistent? And this is a great question. And it's one that a lot of people run into. You probably may have run into this yourself, and you hear about it all the time. A lot of people start some sort of health journey, and that's great getting started. But 2 weeks into it, 3 weeks into it, or a couple months into it, they've already fallen off the ladder. And yeah, it's a matter of getting back on, absolutely. But what if you didn't have to fall off? What if it didn't have to be that way? How can you get on the horse and stay on the horse? In other words, how can you start a journey like this and actually stay on it? I'm going to answer that today and give you 2 tips, but I also want to say that I talk about these 2 tips in my newly released training curriculum that I've come out with now. It's out now. It's called From Couch to Healthy, your 12-week winner's training guide, how to live a life of love, health, and happiness, and keep weight off permanently. That guide is out now. All of this information is in there. DM me, Training with Coach Brad at Facebook, Training with Coach Brad at Instagram. info@trainingwithcoachbrad.com is my email. But that question, how do you make this journey last? How do you get on the horse and stay on the horse so that you don't have to fall off? And most people, when they start this journey, they go straight to, I'll use the word diet and exercise, which makes sense because that's what they know. And that's great. That's at least getting them started. But that doesn't last, especially when you're in that yo-yo cycle, that on again, off again cycle. The diet, the exercise, that's all great, but that's not what makes the journey last. What makes it last is you've got to have these 2 things. And that first one, I've talked about it before, and I'll mention it again, is you've got to have an understanding of your vision. B, that point B. What does that look like for you? And to give you a case in point, I was interviewing a young woman today on the podcast, and I asked her, so how were you able to transform and overcome this extreme adversity, trauma, and become this incredible, thriving woman that you are? How are you able to do that? And very simply, she said the same thing I'm saying now, is you have to have a vision of who you want it to be. She realized that the of her was not working. She had this realization. And so then who can I be? And how can I be that person? And that is key to staying on the horse. Imagine if you didn't even have to fall off the horse. How cool would that be? You don't have to get back on because you never fell off. Having that vision. The second point, I'm just going to be real brief today. The second point to staying on that horse and making this journey last is understanding what motivates you. What is your deepest, true intention? Both of these points that I've talked about, having that vision, understanding I talk about these in that training manual. DM me. Let me show you this training guide. It's got a ton of good stuff in it. A 12-week beginner's training guide, how to optimize your health and energy, keep weight off permanently, and live a more purposeful life. It's out now. It's ready. It's got a ton of this stuff in it. Another time, I'll do another presentation to give you more detail what's in it. But for now, I just want to say, to stay consistent, yes, I'll use the words diet and exercise because I know everybody understands those. I personally don't use those words anymore in my vocabulary. But you've got to have those first 2 elements in place. Again, it's got to be understanding that vision. Who is the best version of you? And why do you want to become that? Why? Knowing those 2 things is key to staying on the horse. And when you stay on the horse, it's awesome because you don't have to worry about falling off. This is Coach Brad. I just wanted to share that with you today. Thanks so much for being here and watching. Appreciate it. As always, you can also, real quick, learn about all of this on my podcast. Check out my podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Be well, be safe, be happy, eat ice cream. I talk about all this. I've interviewed experts from all over the world. It's really, really cool. It's some good on there. Be well, be safe, happy, eat ice cream. Wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, wherever. Be sure and check it out. All right, until next time, this is Coach Brad. Be well, be safe, be happy, eat ice cream. Take care, everyone. See you next time.